Hi there, and welcome to our presentation on physical activity and obesity. I'll introduce myself. I'm Nathan Halvorsen.
And I am Adam Husli.
And this is our topic for the EHE inquiry assignment. Why we chose this topic is pretty simple. Both of us were heavily involved with sports and physical activity, both in our childhood, and we've continued that in our lives today. Both of us play hockey, golf. I myself play baseball, and we're just really active that way. So this topic was a huge interest of ours. Also, both of us are physical education majors, so that means we're both future high school teachers, and we wanted to expand our knowledge on the subject, as well as be equipped for introducing these kind of concepts into our future classrooms. Another reason is we're both strong advocates of physical activity in society, and we want to see like a change in the way people are living their lives today. Background information on physical activity and obesity. Obesity is one of the leading physical health problems our world faces today, which shouldn't be a surprise to most of us. I feel like it is common knowledge right now that obesity is on the rise and it's a growing problem each and every day. Many factors play a role in this trend, such as the sudden boom of technology and social media, as well as factors such as easily accessible and affordable fast food options. Physical activity has a number of benefits that come along with it, which are very important, such as increased energy, increased morale, stronger mental health, and a whole lot more. And this is extremely important to teach our kids at a young age so they can navigate their lives accordingly and live better lives overall and have a better quality of life. The other negative effects to this is obesity can lead to a variety of health issues such as heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, and a lot of other scary situations. And it's also important to note that this happens to people of all ages, no matter whether you're young in your childhood or you're old in your adulthood.
So some obesity and prevention basic information for our first resource. It was developed at Harvard School of Public Health, and it talks about how we need to build affordable and welcoming communities for physical activity environments, whether it's in a city, a town, and it gives great recommendations for a healthy environment that promotes activity for weight loss. It has many resources for weight loss tips from top doctors, the World Health Organization, and the Chronic Disease Control Centers. It also has an excellent amount of information about preventions and the consequences of them as well. And our second resource, the Obesity Canada and Activity Guidelines. It was developed by Obesity Canada with help from other resources. It's a great website for information on weight loss techniques sanctioned around cardio and maintaining weight after you lose it. It has an excellent blog and podcast that exhibit many good examples and ways for weight loss based around physical activity. It can also be used by many age groups and genders and has specific exercises for all future goals as a person. It also has information for important prevention strategies as well.
Our third resource was physical activity's relationship with calorie intake. So this was an approach developed by authors of Chin, Kuthruduru, and Binks in 2016. Essentially what this is they use a variety of math and science and equations to determine how much physical activity an individual needs and how much physical activity they need based off their daily calorie intake. So what this means in conclusion is more calorie intake equals more physical activity needed. So eat more junk food. It's not a bad thing. You just necessarily just have to do more physical activity to work it off. And what this does is it helps in long and short-term health, not only physical health. It's important to note that this also helps other factors of your personal health, such as mental health. It's also important to note that this does not suggest we eat less on a daily basis. It is simply a guide for illustrating how physical activity levels should differ between different individuals and different age groups. One other perspective on physical activity and obesity comes from the children's Disney movie WALL-E. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this movie growing up, and there's a hidden message in this movie that kind of alters from the main storyline. It describes a fictional future where humans live in space and are no longer required to move, and the general population is obese as a result. As you can see pictured here, what happens is technology obsesses over these people and they just feel like they don't have to move anymore. And because of that, they become obese. Another important reason for this resource is the fact that this is a movie intended for children. So what this allows us to do is incorporate this into young classrooms and teach about the positives of physical activity and the negatives that can transpire from it. Another interesting factor about this is if it paints a picture of what our future society could look like if we don't change our ways. We're on a dangerous trend right now where bad eating, bad nutrition, and the lack of physical activity is leading to a lot of unhealthy people in our society. Our second different perspective from this comes more at a comedy expense. It's Weird Al Yankovic's Fat from 1988. I'm not sure a lot of you would have listened to this song before, but basically what it is it's a song parody of Michael Jackson's Bad. So it depicts a world in which everyone is obese, has poor cardiovascular health, and obsesses over food. Although this song is for comical purposes and amusement, it does actually spread a strong message and should be seen as a wake-up call for society that this could be the new normal if we continue our ways and continue this dangerous trend we're on right now.
So the third other perspective that we had was a podcast, and it's called The Obesity Epidemic, and the people who recorded the podcast, they're called You're Wrong About. And the podcast talks about stereotypes around obesity and shows how new studies have proven physical activity is the most important thing for weight loss. And it also gives a good idea about the problems in schools with the promotion of unhealthy foods, vending machines, and phys ed classes that are being classified as a privilege instead of a need. The podcast basically takes fiction from 1900s, 1800s, and talks about how they've changed over the years towards where we are now in 2021. It also promotes new healthy eating standards, as well as talks about the misinformed information about dieting without physical activity, whether it's eating, calorie intake, all that, and promotes physical activity as the proper start for weight loss instead of just a diet right away.
In conclusion, there's three major points to our presentation, which I hope you take away from it. Get up and get moving. Physical activity is essential for everyone, no matter your age. And let's change the narrative, right? We all want to be part of a better society. And if we can just be the leaders and change society, get everybody moving, incorporate into the future society with our young people, everybody's quality of life will be higher, not only here in Canada, but all over the world. And I feel like that's what we're trying for in this presentation. So if you have any questions about what you learned, or if you want more in-depth research and information about physical activity and obesity, don't be afraid to contact us via email. We're always open to listening to new thoughts and new ideas. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.